Hello and welcome to our Saturdays with Tara Hangout on Air. I'm Mary Beth and you're at the Law of Attraction Club. We're on the web at theloaclub.com. On these Hangouts, we collaborate with our friends Tara. Today's call is our final call number 13, day 29 of our 4-week relationship challenge, creating the relationships of your dreams. And the topic is understanding levels of awareness and creating loving relationships. If you'd like to get invites to our free open calls and our free letting go process, you can go to theloaclub.com. So now we're going to hand the call over to Robin and Tara, and welcome.
Welcome to day 29 and the final call number 13 of our 4-week challenge, creating the relationships of your dreams. Once again, for a bit of fun, we're going to explore some ideas from our instruction manual, A User's Guide to Life on Earth. As we usually do, we'll begin with some excerpts from the introduction, which will serve to remind us all of who we are at our essence. And yes, we know there are some of you whose minds get a little boggled when we take you back to your origins. So stick with us, because we'll be getting into some simple, practical steps you can take to align yourself with what you want. And that's how you create the life you want. So, why are origins an important place to start? Because although the concepts behind creating new and different experiences are simple, there's often a lot of inertia built up around the ideas you've been practicing. Overcoming that inertia takes intention and focus and commitment. And it helps you to stay the course if you're confident you're on the right track. So we'll revisit how we all came to be, or more accurately, how we all come to be, now and now and now. Because time only exists within this virtual reality you've created. And then we'll move to tips and techniques about changing your world and your life within it. Before time began, you were. Time began when you started this game, and it ends when you finish. Can you see that before time began, you were? You always were, and you always will be. You're a timeless consciousness. We're a timeless consciousness. We're all part of the collective consciousness of Source. Source is like a river, and we are all tributaries that feed into and flow from that river. We're all part of the endless stream that is God. This is the only thing that's fundamentally true about us all, timelessly and non-physically. At your essence and at our essence, we all exist only as a consciousness. You think. We think. We all have desires and we make choices. It is our desires and choices that shapes us, that individuate us. Our choices cause each of us to emerge from that river of Source. And yet, even as we are formed from Source, we remain always connected to it and always communicating with it. You might think that if I'm always communicating with Source, why is it that I'm not aware of that communication? Answer: because there are levels of awareness, and you exist simultaneously at different levels. Those levels are infinite. But to describe the concept and keep things simple, let's talk as if there are three. There's what we'll call a level 1, the automatic level, the subconscious level, the status quo level. It's the level at which most of your moment-by-moment decisions are made. Even as we say these words, your awareness of what we are saying and your reactions to our words are happening at this level. It's a resultant level because everything at this level has been defined by choices made at higher levels. This is not an awareness of what exists. This awareness creates what exists. There's what we'll call level 2, the new choices level, the observer level, the determinant level. Even as you hear us and react to us in level 1, if we suggest right now that you watch yourself doing all of that, you can move to level 2. At this level, you can step beyond judgment of yourself, or for that matter, judgment of anything. You can be objective about what you now want, always a moving target, and make a new, conscious, non-automatic choice. Then there's level 3. It's the level at which we non-physical entities mostly operate. It's the level you step into when you channel, as this one is doing now, and as you all do when you tap into new ideas. It's a level of awareness beyond the confines of the game you have constructed and are playing in at level 1. Level 3 is your attachment to source. So we'll be making use of the concept of these 3 levels as we intersect with you. But we want to be clear about a few things. Firstly, these levels exist within all of you. Secondly, there is no implied hierarchy of worthiness or holiness associated with these. Yes, we're going to encourage you more and more into level 2 and 3 awareness, but that's a response to you asking for help about creating more of what you want in your life. And so we encourage you into remembering and discovering who you are. Thirdly, there are not so much levels as states. Your level 1 state borders on both your level 2 and level 3 states. Everything intersects with everything. And lastly, there are not 3 levels. We just picked 3 points on a continuum. These are not boxes with boundaries. These are concepts. They are suggested ways of thinking about yourself in order that you can more and more live with an ongoing and ever-present knowledge of the magnificent, powerful, creative being that you are. So we'll use them as concepts. But just be aware, in non-physical, there are no boxes and boundaries, so don't overextend the metaphor. There truly is no 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th dimension. It is all a swirling continuum. These labels are just tools to help us explain, in finite words, what is otherwise infinite and inexplicable. So what does all this have to do with creating new relationships? Simply this. as you make new choices at level 2, you reversion yourself, and that new version exists within a new matching context that mirrors your beliefs and expectations. We're a part of your matching context, even as you are a part of ours. We're all individuations of Source, experiencing each other, mixing it up with each other, and exploring possibilities. So what do we mean by making a new choice? You have an experience. It's always a match to your level 1. Some things you experience are more wanted and some less wanted. And it's the contrast between those that stimulates your desires and leads to an infinite range of new and joyous creative choices. This is the game. If you now decide at level 2, this is what I want, have you made a new quote-unquote choice, as we are using the word? Perhaps, perhaps not. We say choice begins at level 2, but consummates when level 1 and level 2 are in alignment. You have to assert that new choice into your subconscious fabric of expectations. It can be instantaneous. It might take some practice to overcome a lifetime of practicing an old choice, but it's always possible. We know it may not always seem possible. We know that along the way in this fascinating and engaging game of yours, it's easy to forget who you are and the power you have to change anything. And if you're here intersecting with us, chances are that you're one of those forgetful ones. And perhaps you now find yourself in a matching version of the world where almost everyone has forgotten. And then this virtual reality of yours starts to look like it's real. And you're stuck with it. So you practice the idea that it's real, and that practicing teaches your subconscious that it's real. Then you practice not knowing how powerful you are, and that renders you powerless. And so you struggle and you work hard, and you come up with all sorts of complicated explanations about why you're here, and you develop strategies to survive as best you can. But your connection at level 3 is never lost. Deep in that soul of yours, you still know who you are. And then your questions carry you into this intersection with us. And here we are at your reawakening, rejoicing in being able to mix it up with you and give you our perspective. You are Source, and your only purpose is to experience the joy of creating new things, whatever they may be. And of course, ultimately, it's not about the things. It's about experiencing the creative process. You exist as we do for the fun of it. Shortly in our longer discussion, we're going to take you on a guided visualization. It will be about relationships because that's our right now focus. But this technique can be applied to anything. We're going to invite you into a level 2, level 3 experience that is actually a very down-to-earth, practical process for stepping into a new relationship with someone or something. Even though you might think perhaps of changing an old relationship, it will be a new one, because you will literally be renewing it, renewing it. These will be the steps. Just follow along here in your mind as we preview the process. Pick a relationship you want to change or begin. 2. Bring to mind everything you know about that person or about the last person that occupied that slot in your world. Just acknowledge to yourself that this level 1 image you have is what defines them. 3. Now leave that there and decide at level 2 and at level 3 what it is that you want. 4. Now briefly see these 2 images, old level 1 and new level 2, side by side, and notice the differences. 5. Now let the old image fade away and bring the new image into beingness in your world. Step into it. Practice the experience of it. Appreciate the experience. Step 6. Congratulate yourself. Appreciate yourself. Good. So now let's move to our longer discussion and your questions.
If you'd like to get invites to our free open calls, we do them periodically. Go to the loaclub.com. As our membership goes, we offer 3 live calls a week on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So if you'd like to become a member, go to the loaclub.com/join. So now we're going to continue with Q&A. So back over to Robin and to Ra.